My boyfriend saved me from my mother's suffocating control, uncovering truths about her obsession that left me shattered. My name is James, and this is the story of how Liam and I fell in love, and how he rescued me from the grip of my obsessive mother. Liam and I grew up as neighbors, and he was my only friend. I wasn't allowed to have friends or play outside because I was always sickly and pale. My mother insisted that these restrictions were for my own good, claiming I wasn't fit for such things. Somehow, Liam became an exception to her rules. Not because she liked him, but because our families were neighbors and business partners. Even then, she kept tight control. We could play for just an hour, always under her watchful eye. I spent more time with doctors than other kids, never celebrating birthdays or going to parties. My happiest moments were with Liam, who made me feel normal, if only briefly. When my dad passed away, his will changed everything. He declared I could only inherit the family business if I graduated from his university. Otherwise, it would all go to charity. My mother opposed it but had no choice. She had to let me go to college. Even there, she found ways to control me. She rented my apartment, sent a maid to monitor me, and called incessantly after every class, meal, or outing. It was suffocating. Liam noticed my stress and quietly helped. He'd take me for coffee or walks, encouraging me to relax and try new things. With him, I started to enjoy small moments and see a life beyond my mother's control. For the first time, I believed things could truly change.
College was the first time James got a glimpse of freedom, even with his mother still calling, controlling his weekends, and sending a maid to spy on him. I made it my mission to help him embrace it. I wanted him to live the life he had always dreamed of. I wanted the boy I fell in love with to laugh and live freely, without restrictions, and I was determined to make it happen. It wasn't easy, but I refused to give up. It started small. We'd spend hours together after classes, going grocery shopping or cooking in my apartment. At first, it was simple, teaching him how to chop vegetables or helping him figure out the oven, but soon those evenings turned into something more. We'd laugh over burned pasta or tease each other about who was the better cook. Then, one night, after a late dinner, we sat on my couch, close enough to feel the heat of each other's bodies. James was hesitant, his fingers nervously brushing against mine, but when he finally looked at me, his eyes told me everything. I leaned in, and our lips met. That kiss, soft, shy, and full of unspoken words, was the start of everything.
For the first time in my life, I felt like I could breathe. His apartment was my sanctuary, a place where I didn't have to be perfect. It was just us. No rules, no expectations, no fear. We started spending more and more time together. I'd stay late after dinner, falling asleep on his couch, only to wake up with his arms around me. It was comforting in a way I'd never known. Before long, it became a habit. I'd find myself drawn to his apartment after class, where we'd spend the evening cooking, talking, and eventually cuddling. It didn't stop there. The kisses became more frequent, more passionate, and soon we couldn't keep our hands off each other. Liam was gentle, always waiting for me to take the lead, but he made me feel wanted, loved. Our first night together was perfect. It wasn't just about passion, it was about trust. I had never felt so close to anyone before.
James was changing, and it was beautiful to see. He was smiling more, laughing more, and even standing up to his mother in small ways. He started ignoring her constant calls, spending weekends with me instead of going home. We went on dates, little things like visiting the farmer's market or catching a late-night movie. One weekend, I took him to an amusement park. Watching him laugh as we spun around on the Ferris wheel was one of the happiest moments of my life. He held my hand the entire time, but I could tell his mother was starting to notice his absence. The calls became more frequent, more insistent. James would look at his phone, a mix of guilt and frustration on his face, but I was always there to remind him that he didn't have to answer.
Being with Liam made me feel alive. For the first time, I wasn't just living for my mother's approval, I was living for myself. But I knew she wouldn't let go so easily, and I had this weird feeling of being stalked, like she was watching. I started avoiding her calls, lying about being busy with schoolwork or group projects. Liam and I spent weekends together instead. We'd cook, binge-watch TV shows, and fall asleep tangled in each other's arms. But we couldn't stay hidden forever. After weeks of being just behind closed doors boyfriends, Liam suggested we go to a Halloween party on campus. "Let's just be ourselves," he said. I hesitated, but deep down, I wanted that too. I wanted to hold his hand in public, to kiss him without fear.
The Halloween party felt like a turning point. James was nervous, but I reassured him. "There is nothing to worry about," I said, and for once he believed me. We spent the night dancing, laughing, and stealing kisses under the dim lights. For the first time, James let himself go. He smiled, He laughed, and when he looked at me, I saw pure happiness in his eyes. It was perfect.
We decided to go to my apartment the next morning, and there she was waiting for me, my mother. She had pictures of us at the party, of us kissing. She stood there, furious, her voice shaking with rage. "You're supposed to be perfect!" she shouted. "This is not who you are!" Her words cut deep, but for the first time, I didn't feel ashamed. I felt angry. She had no reason to lash at me when my whole life all I did was follow her orders. I was shaking and sobbing from hurt and rage, and then I heard Liam say, holding my hand, "You have done enough."
I couldn't stand to see her treat James like that. She tried to force him to take his so-called medicine, claiming he was acting out because he wasn't taking it. That's when he hit me. I had seen the medicine she always gave James, and I had also noticed how he had become better in the few weeks he missed it when he didn't go home. That medicine wasn't helping him. It was keeping him weak, keeping him under her control. I knocked the bottle out of her hand, holding James close. "You're done controlling him," I said. "I'm calling cops." She looked surprised and fled the scene, not before screaming about how I was ruining her son. But I didn't care. James was safe, and that was all that mattered.
I was shocked when Liam explained things to me. I couldn't believe my own mother was drugging me to keep me sick, to keep me dependent on her. But somehow, it clicked. All those medicines, visits to doctors, and they never actually found anything wrong with me except my mysteriously weakening body. It wasn't easy to move on. The nightmares haunted me, but Liam was there every step of the way. We moved in together, slowly building a life that was ours. Miss Lily, my counselor, became like a mother to me, guiding me as I found my footing. Liam and I graduated together, stronger than ever. We took over my father's business, doubling its profits, and created a life filled with love and laughter. Each night was filled with passion, and each day was an adventure. We were free, and we were happy. And nothing could take that away from us.